But since I have so much guests on here today, I feel special. I feel inclined to do, show you guys more than just the basics because even though what's going on, Garrett, even though I usually show you guys the basics on Sunday, what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna mix my basics with the harmonics. Now you guys see this pattern that's on the chart. I mean, it's on the chart. It's on my chart right now. I actually drew this pattern up weeks ago. Dropped it in the group chat. I'm actually in multiple group chats, so I did not drop this in the PYP group chat. Now the reason for that being is I don't want y'all to think that I'm taking this over as a harmonics group because that's not what it is, man. It ain't my group. I'm a part of the group. I'm not the head of the group. So in my group, what I do is I drop setups like this. So even if you're in the 5-figure challenge and there hasn't been like trades flowing, the main reason for that is because in my main group, I might drop them a trade setup that I like as soon as I see it. Now in the 5-figure group, I don't drop them any trades because I don't want you guys being inside like 10 trades at one time, honestly. Like I can go to my chat and show you guys where I just been like dropping. And sometimes it'll be a Monday where I have no trade setups. And sometimes it'll be a Tuesday and then I have like five. Or it'll be a Wednesday and I have like five. And they all go off. And that's just how it works. Or sometimes I see the same thing that someone else will see and it goes off. Like that's literally how it works. Like it's no guarantee that every chart that I drop inside the 5-figure challenge is gonna be the one that's gonna go off. But for the most part, keep on dropping them, they'll keep on winning. I had some funky charts that did their own thing and went crazy and went ham. Gold went crazy. They have a separate chart for harmonics. No, what I do is actually have multiple different like group setups of charts on here. But what I do is this is actually one of my class ones. It says class 1114. This is actually a trade setup that I had from I find it in the group chat. I'm not scrolling through while I'm talking to you guys. That I had from a few weeks ago. But it's not that I have a separate chart for harmonics. What I do is I have a separate group that my team is in. Then I'll drop them the harmonics like as soon as I see it, especially if it's one I like. Now, if it's one I don't like, I don't drop it. And if it's one that needs like context to it, I drop the context to it also. So they don't just have a chart, they don't just have a pattern. They have the setup and what could possibly happen to the setup. Not just, hey, there's a pattern, bam, take this pattern. Because sometimes it's more to it than that. I give stipulations like, hey, if this happens, do this, or if this happens, do that. And that's how it should be, because if someone is just dropping a pattern with no context, people ain't gonna know what the hell is going on, and that by itself is a problem. Now, as I'm talking, I'm still trying to find this name on pattern. Like, oh, it's annoying. So, but before I find this and actually drop it, do you guys have any questions about anything harmonic related before I actually get to the harmonics part? I know you guys can't see me. Usually you can see me, but I figure you guys don't need to see me for this class and make a difference in me. You guys know how my voice sounds. You guys know how I look. I'm tall, dude with a beard. Um, is this it? Oh, this is it. Finally, I found it. So, oh, and that's not the whole one. My bad. I fooled y'all. I'm still trying to find this thing real quick, but I need to show this pattern just to show you guys the reasoning behind this. Is this it? Let me see. Yes, it is. Let's take this way back, and I mean way. So on this, I dropped this to my team, and I said I'm going to buy this. Now, if you guys who do not know how harmonics work, harmonics are predictive patterns. What they do is they show you where price is going to go or could potentially go. None of us know the future. None of us know exactly what's going to happen. But what we do know is a high probability trade. And harmonics give you a high probability of winning. Every single pattern is not going to win. And that's life. Every single trade you take ain't going to win. You can be the most accurate, most well-informed trader out there, and you're still going to lose it to some trades. That's just part of life. That's the way it goes. You can be the best basketball player in the world, and you're still going to miss some shots. That's life. No one's perfect at anything. That's basically what it is. But with this harmonic pattern, this Gartley pattern, I send it to my team, and it literally says, I think I'm buying this. Now, I send them the setup where it says buy, it says stop loss, it says take profit, and you see what this trade did, bam. But this pattern was actually drawn way, way back here. Where is this at? This was October the 30th and did not complete until November 22nd. Almost a whole month between, my bad, start and finish. Drink some water real quick. I mean start and finish, I mean start and completion of the pattern. And you see this pattern happened to be a perfect entry because it only went negative like a couple pips before, like you were in drawdown for a couple pips. I think she was asking about a separate Telegram chat. Oh, that said chat or chart. I can't read sometimes. Oh, it says chat. Oh, my bad. I thought it said chart. Forgive me. But either way go. I don't have a separate chat just for harmonics, but my chat is my group chat. Now, if you want into my group chat, you can get added to the group chat. It's not a problem at all. It's just basically my team of people, who are under me. But I don't mind adding people to that. If you want to learn harmonics, that's what we're here for. Ray does have a chat also. It's called BSAS Traders, and BSAS Trader is 100% harmonics all the time. I'm actually in that group. I don't participate too much in that group because there's so much going on nonstop all the time. And I don't feel like following all that. So what I do is I try to show my people, school them up on harmonics and, the teaching. It says, haha, thanks. Yes, if you could drop the link for that, for the two chats, I would appreciate it. So if you're not in the BSAS Traders group, I can't add you to that. Ray has to give you the link on that. I can't grab the link. But as far as mine goes, I can, hold it real quick. Let me see what this name is at. I can drop the link inside this chat. That's not a problem. Matter of fact, I'll do it in a second. It should be up here. I'm on the bus that struggles right now, aka the struggle bus. Here it is. And where is it at? Where is my link at? Yo, I'm on the struggle bus right now. I can't find this link. I'll send this link in a second, man. It don't matter. See, I'm at buying more shoes. No, not right now. See, my Adidas is up. Whoa, I was looking at these. Don't judge me right now. I mean, some nice shoes right here. But I ain't buying more shoes right now. But everybody had a Black Friday sale, so I was looking. So I'm black, and it was Friday, so I was looking. Like I was saying, I would drop the link to y'all in the PYP group, or when I find it, I'll drop to y'all for sure. But like I was saying, though, I am going to go from a naked chart to a market up to show you guys what I look for and what I see when it comes to the basics and the harmonics. I'm going to incorporate both of these. Into one. So speaking of that UJ trade that I dropped last week, this again goes to, it doesn't matter how perfect your markup is. If the trade gonna lose, you're gonna lose. That's basically what it is. You can't hold attachment to a pair like, oh my God, you're supposed to win. Ain't nothing supposed to win. Now there's a high chance something can win, but ain't nothing supposed to win because it does what it's gonna do regardless. Now I have two USD JPY charts on here. You might be wondering why, because I'm crazy like that. But I have two USD JPY charts, and they both have kind of separate things. Now the reason why I do this is I know almost anybody who trades on here knows this. You can go on these charts one day and see one thing, and go on her next day and see something completely different. Or you might see trend lines going a different way. It just depends on where your mind frame, where your time and your mind frame is at that day. And you see I have this big, bold black trend line, which I'll show you guys how I do that in a second. And on my first one, I had this pattern right here. This pattern did not complete, so that's fine. So at the time when I dropped that chart to you guys, that pair to you guys in the 5-figure challenge, this is what happened. Let me rewind this real quick. If I go back to the other one, it makes life easier. So this pattern here didn't complete. This pattern is invalid. This pattern is dead. So I can erase this. But what I had was, let me rewind this. What I had was something like this. Now, I'm going to fly through this real fast. Let me see how this pattern looks. Where is it at? Here's the top part. Okay. But I have this pattern right here. Now, I'm not going to go through every single part of this pattern real quick. I'm just going to show you guys what I had and what happened to it. Price was like right here when I dropped this, had not yet completed yet. Now you see I have this big black trend line right here. That is a daily trend line. That's showing me that price is probably going to reject off that if this is not making this break. So I grab my fib from here to here, my X to my A. This is not a fib, this is not a harmonics class today, but it's going to be a harmonics class for right now. Just show you guys real quick what happened, and I'm going to say what went wrong, but where it led us astray. My X to my A, my B, I'm gonna go through this fib and what they mean in a second. My C in the middle, and my D completion, which was right at that trend line. Look how perfect that is. So I have this. Now, when you're doing a Gartley pattern, you need your price in the middle. You need your impulse leg, which is your first move. Let me make sure this is on the right thing. Your first move, impulse leg, X to A. Your second move is your retracement, which is your B point. And how you get that is when you fib X to A, your high point to your low point of your impulse leg, you're looking for B in the middle. B must touch 618. It can wick 786, but cannot close beyond 786. My rule of thumb with that is if price wicks 786, oops, like this, I'm hopping in this joint. All I did was retest a trend line. But if price wicks 786, like way up here by 886, I'm not getting in this trade. Main reason, yes, it is still valid, but it's just, it ain't clean. I like this to be clean. So if it's like right here past 786, see my 786 to the right, if it's like right here, I'm fine. But if it's like way up here, nah, I ain't doing it. That ain't it, chief. So with that being said, I got my X, I got my A, my retracement is my B. That is half of my harmonic pattern. Now, my second fib is going A to B. This is how I get my C. Now, I've been trading harmonic patterns so long, I know that if I open up a pattern and I see this right here, this is already a valid Gartley. I don't even need to fib the rest of it. And the reason why that is because if my B is beyond 618, but not to 786 of my first fib, and my C point is not lower than A, it doesn't even matter what this fibs to. As long as this fibs to 618 and it's like generally close to that A, I can just look at this and be like, okay, this is a Gartley pattern. It's legit. But you know, for being correct's sake, this fib from A to B, how you get your C. All you need is a minimum 618, a maximum of 1. Price cannot close beyond A, which is also known as 1. Again, price cannot close beyond that. Even if it wicks it, I say it as it's invalid. Because if it wicks it on the 1 hour, it's probably a close down there on the 15-minute. So I see it as invalid. And you know what? A lot of times I'd be like, okay, this pattern is invalid, and it still goes my way, but it's not that pattern anymore. At that point, I just consider it a double bottom or a double top, or an M formation or a W formation. So yes, price can actually still wick past this and be invalid for a harmonic pattern, but it can still be a valid W formation. And for a W formation, it's basically making a double bottom, same thing. A W formation, aka double bottom, is the same thing, and it still can push up. So now people say 2 things can be true. 2 things can be true. That pattern can be invalid, and that can be a valid double bottom. So don't get those things confused, because that definitely does happen sometimes. Price will wick past your A point and make the pattern invalid, and then it turn back around. You'd be like, oh, this pattern was going the right way. Nah, it's not. What it is going the way you thought it was going to go, but the pattern is no longer invalid. So it's like if you taking a road trip and you get a flat tire, and now you're going with a donut on your car. You're still going there, but you ain't going in the same way. You definitely ain't going in the same speed. So now that I have that, I have my C, which is this green box. I actually change this box color real quick. Let me change this to, where is it at? I'll change this to yellow. So my 618 to my 1, price is at 886, which is a perfect entry for me. I like when my C point actually hits 786 to 886. It feels like it's more of a cleaner setup. And I know some of these going to be ugly. That's just what life is. Some of these patterns are going to be like dirt ugly, but they're still going to play out. Now, my last fib is going to go B to C. And this is how I find my D entry zone. So you guys see me draw or drop a pattern that has a green box on it like this. It has a green box right here. Then it says sell and sell 2 times. So it'll be like this. It'll be a sell. Then it'll be another one that says, I'll copy this right here, that says sell. So the reason why there would be 2 sells on here is because my first point of my sell was at the 886. My second one's at the 1272. This green box is my ideal entry zone for this pattern. Now you actually see that what price did, it actually did tap that box and then drop down. So at this tap, this pattern is legit. It's a go. You can actually could have sold that down for a few pips right there. Now on the flip side, you see that price hit this trend line. And now I'm talking all this stuff and telling you guys this for a reason. I'm gonna work all this thing backwards to show you guys what I had here. You see this trend line, this green trend line. Green means daily level. This daily trend line right here was respected, price pushed back up. You could have still got 25 pips off of this. Like the price of entry and drop down, that's 25 pips we got off of this. Now, last time I dropped this, price was probably like right here or right before there, somewhere down here. It doesn't matter. It was somewhere in the general area. And let me draw my pattern real quick. which is X to A to B, B to C, C to D, which is right here. So that pattern was 100% legit, and it dropped for like 20 something pips, but I don't think it might not hit take profit on here. But I'm gonna erase that and play this out for you guys real quick, show you guys what happened. So my thought process was, okay, price tap this, drop down a few pips, that's fine. When price got here again and dropped down a little bit, price has a tendency of coming back to the same point on a trend line or on a level and rejecting twice. That happens. Now, the problem with this one, what happened was price hit this zone again. It dropped down, came back to the zone again. It actually gives a little fade drop down, and it went straight to the start of a new trend. Now, how I know it's starting a new trend? Because, so are those diagonal trend lines like extended somehow? If so, how to do that? Don't worry, I got you, Bianca. I'm gonna work backwards and show you guys how I get there. I'm just showing you all the one trade that we took an L on this week. But you see that price pushed above this trend line and then came back to it and tested it and rejected it. Now, what that's showing me that since this black trend line is a daily trend line, price is playing above this now. Now, anyone who has been on my class before knows that when I say price, can't talk, price is playing a side of a trend line now means that when price is respecting the trend line, what it will do is it will ride one side of a trend line. So if you see this big black line and this green line, all these different trend lines, right? When price breaks one, it rides one side of it. So you see all this action on the bottom side of this golden trend line right here. When price broke that golden trend line again, what did it do? All this action was on the top side, riding around the top side. It broke it again. All this action is on the bottom of this gold trend line. So now you see, again, all this action right here was on the top side of this gold trend line. So what that's showing me is that price is playing side to side of this gold trend line. Now, my daily trend line is a black one. This gold trend line is based off this black daily trend line. And now price is playing the top side of this. You see how all this movement's up here? Then the top side of this. So when I play this out, you see that price is just riding. It's just riding that trend line. So even when it came back to it, what did it do? Riding that trend line again. So all that action right there is on the top side of that trend line. So it's just basically riding that bad boy like up and down. If you see right here, I had this is the same pair. Remember that the trend lines are different on this one. I had a small pattern in here. The small pattern did the right thing, like Spike Lee did the right thing. USD, JPY, this golden pattern, which is currently invalidated, and then price turned right back up. So, I mean, again, that happens. You can have the perfect pattern set up, and you see that this harmonic was the perfect pattern set up, but it didn't play all right. It didn't work in our favor. And again, that happens. So like I was said, I was going to show you guys how I even got to the point of putting these trend lines on here and all that stuff right here. So let me go to a, matter of fact, I don't know what to do. I got crap all over this chart. I don't like it. I don't like it. There's too much stuff on here. But Bianca, I got you. I'm gonna show you how I got all the way from this chart being naked to all these trend lines on here. Give me a second. Bear with me. Let me go to, I'll load up this joint from September. I don't know what's on this chart from September, but I got you. NZD CAD. You said now, if you guys see any of my charts being dropped, you know I have trend lines on everything. Like this is actually from a class right here. I was showing you guys how trend lines work, and that's those same trend lines right there. But I'm still going to clear this off and show you guys what I'm talking about. And this was, I was showing Gartley a while ago, but I go back this one here so it's more clear. Let me erase all of this. Bam. So with an empty chart, you guys will see, I mean, all you guys who've been trading knows it's like, this is a naked chart. I say naked, I mean, there's nothing on here. Now, my harmonic trader eyeball, what I see first is, you grab a fib. I see an information off the rip. That's the first thing I see is the information. Let me see something real quick. So what's crazy about this is, when we see this information, if you guys know what I'm talking about, that's my X. Whoa, that's a big old line. Let me fix that. Just the bar, bam. That's my X to my A, my hypothetical X to A, my A to B, my B to C, and hypothetical D of a bat pattern would be down here somewhere. And again, I know this is getting really advanced on y'all who don't trade harmonics, but a bat pattern is almost the same as a Gartley pattern, but we ain't covering that today, so don't worry about it. But that's my bat pattern right there. If I were to trade this as that, but that's way, way down there. But as long as price stays in this zone, this thing is still legit, but it's going to just know it's not going to complete until like probably 2021, because this is a big pattern on daily time frame. So that's a real big pattern. So we didn't even worry about that right now. Let me go back to the trend lines and such. So you guys know that when you are like marking the chart up, you go in here, you find your level of support and resistance. So what I'm going to do is find levels of support and resistance super fast so I can skip to the trend line part. Support and resistance, I'm on my daily time frame. So that means that every single line that I draw is going to be black on my daily time frame. Now, the reason why we do this is so that when I drop a pattern to Ray or drop a pattern in the group chat or drop a pattern in PYP, anyone who's on me or Ray's session knows that if there's a black line on here, it was drawn on the daily time frame. If there's a gold line, it was drawn on the 4-hour time frame. If there's a green line, it was drawn on the 1-hour time frame. I do not draw any level of support and resistance on my 15-minute. Now, the reason for that is, yes, I do trade the 15-minute, but I realize that a lot of times your same lines that you have on your 15-minute are the same lines you have in your 1 hour. There's no point in doubling it up. And for the most part, if you draw a level of support and resistance on your 15-minute, it's probably gonna get disrespected by a bigger pattern anyway. So there's no point in trying to chase every single one of these things down. And actually, I hate seeing this. Well, I love seeing this, but I hate seeing this. Look at this, another M formation. That might actually be the wrong spot to grab that from. Let me see if I grab it from down. That's a different impulse though. Let me grab it from right here. That's cleaner. Look at that. Another M formation, and this pattern right here is actually still legit. Also, I actually have this drawn up on my USD JPY too. But it's just how my eyes work. I see these patterns so quickly just by looking at the M formation. And again, to reiterate, M formation is just, why do you keep doing that for? It's just this. That's your M formation. And I see a pattern forming up already right there, which is going to be a Gartley. But we'll get back to that in a second. But let me go, and I'm just going through my daily time frame, and what I'm doing is looking for levels of support and resistance. Now, if you guys are new, like fresh face, I never put a trade in my life in, so level of support and resistance is, all support is, it's one of the fundamentals of trading. All support is when price is being held up by a point. So you see, I'm doing my triangle, not a square. All this action right here, all this right here is bouncing off this one black line I just drew. And this level right here, all this action right here was below. So therefore right here, I made this one red, this is resistance. And when price is on top, that is support. This same level of resistance was support. Again, oops, let me copy both of those. Let me try this one more time. Let me just grab you. All this right here, this was support again over here. You see all this action is taking place above that level. So when price got below it, it was resistance. I make the support green, resistance red. Same thing here. And you know, almost every line that was once resistance becomes support and vice versa. So right here, this same level I just drew was resistance. Again, right here, resistance. That point, price didn't want to come to it. Resistance. And all over here, look at that, support. All on top of there, that's all support right here. So all of this, price is being supported by this one level. And so far, all I drew is one level. And it's just showing you how support and resistance work. All this time when price cannot break that zone, it's just bouncing off of it. That is all support. So now I give you guys a little basic lesson real quick on support and resistance. I'm going through my chart and I'm trying to find points of support and resistance on my daily time frame. And then I go through here and draw my diagonal trend line to show you guys how that works. Right here, another good idea of a point. You see wicks touching. I have 1, I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points of where price is just tapping this and turning around. If I zoom, you can see even better. It's going through all wicks. I might actually move this down a little bit, about right here. You see how, again, what I mean by wicks is there's a wick right there, not a candle body, wick right there, wick right there, wicks right here. This is so much levels that are touching this and turning around, just showing you that price does not want to sustain at that level. Remember that when we draw support and resistance, that these lines are not just perfectly straight lines. These are more of zones. So if you, I know I keep referencing Ray, but I learned a lot of my stuff from Ray. You see Ray draw a gray box or a red box or a box on his chart in general, he's showing you that price is actually at a zone, not just at a perfectly straight line. We use these lines as reference because they give us numbers on the side and it gives us more confirmation. But know that these are zones, not just perfectly straight line numbers. But I mean, the lines do look clean and nice and all that goodness right there. Another good level that will show you where a level of support and resistance is at when you have consolidation. A lot of times consolidation is just tapping off support and resistance. That's all it's doing. Like right here, it's just riding that same line, tap, tap, tap. And again, right here to the left, this is resistance. To the right, that is support. Same thing up here. Look at this level of consolidation right here. Price is just riding a line right here. So I can just drop a line right there. And it happened to be that I drew my line based off this, where it was support, and right here it was resistance. Because again, support and resistance go hand in hand. If you draw a line, I can bet you at some point in the past, it was resistance or support, depending on how you drew it. So if I take this same line, just drew at the top, which is, I'll make it nice and hot pink, just for example purposes. I drag it to the left. Look at this, to the left. This was all the way back in 06, and this same level was still holding tight right here as resistance. And over here, it was holding tight as support. Nice little head and shoulders right there. It held tight as support. It was support right there. Over and over and over, these same zones keep getting tested. Now, if you guys know what a head and shoulders is, that is another simple move that, I mean, I'm just going to draw this real fast for you guys, just so you guys know what it is, because this move happens so much and so much people miss it. The head and shoulders is simply this right here. You got, that's two light. You got one shoulder, you got a head, you got, I'll fix this in a second, another shoulder, you got a drop off. Let me fix these points. Where you at? Bam. So this head and shoulders move, right? I know I'm getting off track, but I just saw it, so I had to show you guys this. This head and shoulder moves happen so much. When you have a big peak like this in the middle, like for instance, oh, it actually happened right here again. Look at this. Head and shoulders move. It happens so much. Like all price does when trading Forex is copy itself over and over and over in different ways on different time frames. Look at this. This is two huge head and shoulders. Now, at the end of a head and shoulders, all you're expecting the price to do is a continuation of the move that already happened. So price came up, it found its plateau, made a head and shoulder, price comes down and finishes that move. Same thing here. Price came up, found a plateau, head and shoulder, found support, and came back down. So the end of this head and shoulders, it's time for you to sell on this one. Know that head and shoulders also come in an inverted form, meaning that they can be upside down. Same move will happen, except when it's upside down, you're looking for a buy, not a sell. So, okay, now back on track, back on subject. I had to show you guys the head and shoulders real fast because it was just right there in your face, in case you guys don't know what the head and shoulders was or how it looks or what it does at the end of it. Make this right here back black. Bam. So now, you know what? For practice purposes, I'm not going to draw every single data level on here. What I'm going to do now is, now that I have a few data levels on here, I can go through and find my diagonal trend lines. And what I do is, oh, here it is. I'm taking my one that says just a bar on it. And all I'm doing is the same way I found my levels of support and resistance, I'm using those to find my trend lines. So I'm just grabbing from a low point right here. And I'm kind of looking for price stair-stepping this way up. Because if you have price stair-stepping this way up, but price doesn't actually have a level of support that's holding it, it's probably because there's a trend line somewhere in it. So I can draw a trend line like right here. Now, this is probably the ugliest trend line I've drawn, but somebody's drawing on my screen right now. I'm about to erase that. Hold on. Who's drawing on my screen, man? Who's drawing on my screen? Let me go to, okay, where you at? Clear all drawings, bam. So now that I have this one trend line on here, I can actually adjust this. A trend line, just like a level of support resistance, needs to go through wicks. Now this is why I have two USD/JPY charts, because sometimes I see a trend going this way or I see a trend going down. It just depends on where I'm seeing it at. But now that I have this one trend line drawn up, I can go on here and make this my daily trend line, bam, extend it both ways like that. It's extended in each direction. Now, the reason why I extend this in each direction, I don't know if this is beyond his question or not. The reason why I extend this in both directions is because if you have a nice trend set up like right here, I drew this whole trend line based off this level right here, those 4 points that tapped it. If you extend this in each direction, it's going to show you that in the future, this same trend line is expected again and again. In the past, this same trend line was expected again and again. So when you extend in each direction, all it's showing you is that this thing was respected in both directions. That's how it works. Like it's going in each direction, respecting the same trend line. Now, the funny thing that I found out that I use a lot is if you hold down Control, click on this line. These trend lines, I don't say stand the test of time, but they follow the same pattern. Look at that. Now I just copied the same trend line. This is trend line 1. I will make it pink. Trend line 1 and trend line 2. Trend line 2 will be blue. These are the same trend line going at the same exact angle. They're just controlled and copied over. And it shows you that price followed this same trend line. Look at this. Look at the touches on this. That was the first point. This was the second and third point right there. This was almost the point, but price kind of broke it. Look at that. Perfect respect in the middle. Look at that break and retest right there. These trend lines get followed over and over and over. I can take this same trend line and go down to a smaller time frame. Right now I'm on a daily. Go down to the 1 hour. Show you guys how this works with trend lines. So on the 1 hour, where's it at? If I take the same trend line, which remember, all this is based off this pink one right here. If I take the same trend line, Control, copy it, drag it somewhere else, I can bet you I can find another trend, right? Is it right here? Yeah, look at that. Okay, my example, for example purposes, look at that. That was a gap. Look at that, respect that trend line right there. Respect on that trend line. All that consolidation in the middle. Look at this perfect respect right there in the middle of the trend line right here on a smaller time frame. Respect on the same trend line. And all I did was control and copy the same trend line over. And it's kind of like they stand the test of time, because no matter what time frame you go to, if you control and copy it, and your trend is nice, I can bet you that price is going to respect it. Again, look at this. Let me change the color of this one real quick. Now, this is the fourth trend line I've copied from the same exact pink trend line up there. Let me change the color of this one to, what color do I want this? I'll make this one green. Since I'm now on the 1 hour time frame, I'll make this one 1 hour green. So it's kind of like money green. But again, I made this a different shape, a different color. I'll make these ones red. Look at their respect on the same trend line. And again, this is the same trend line, just copied. It's just copied over. But it shows you that trend lines, they kind of transcend a lot of the movement and a lot of the nonsense on the charts. So look at all the respect on the same exact trend line that's just copied over and extended in both directions. I probably can go to every single time frame and do that with the same trend line and find that price follows that trend. So what these trend lines help me do is, when I have a setup on UJ or a setup on gold or a setup on anything, I can look at my trend lines and go, okay, I know if I draw a harmonic pattern right here and price has a chance it might push to this trend line and then make its move. And the perfect example of this is, man, this is a mess right here. But the perfect example of this is USD CHF. Where's it at? Bam. So USD CHF, was it a month ago? Yeah, well, a month ago, October 17th, Ray gave out this buy. Matter of fact, this is when Ray was here for this. Ray was here for a meeting. Me and him sat at the kitchen table, and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, Ray, I have a pattern on USD CHF. And he's like, are you going to buy it? And I was like, you know what? I think I am going to buy it. Where's it at? I think I am going to buy it. So at this time, remember what these things on my chart stand for. This is a Gartley pattern. Green line, 1 hour level of support and resistance. Gold line, 4 hour level of support and resistance. These black lines are daily trend lines. They were drawn on the daily time frame, controlled and copied over. These little green ones are the same as the black trend lines, except I just drew it on the 1 hour time frame. Because you know, the smaller time frame you go, the more information you're going to have. So now that I have more information on here, when we bought this trade, it rolled right up from a level of support, a 4 hour level of support right here, and a daily trend line went right to a 1 hour trend line and rejected. So when it rejected, there's no need to freak out. All it was doing was testing this trend line. All it was doing was deciding, do I want to start a new trend or not? It decided it did not want to start a new trend. So what did it do? It started playing back above these trend lines. So it hit take profit, and the whole time is just testing trend lines. I remember this trade like it was yesterday. I remember this buy up. I remember this sell down. So at this 4 hour trend line is the level of resistance right here. You guys see the You guys see the support right here. I make this green so it makes sense. This was the support. That means that more than likely, this is going to turn to a level of resistance. Let me make this red. This is going to turn to a level of resistance. So knowing that that is coming up, I can look at this and be like, okay, there's a high chance that price is going to sell right here. So I want to say in one of the chats, it might be the PYP Trading Empire chat that sends out signals. Ray dropped this and like, hey, we're selling right here at gold. Now, it happened to be that that was a session that me and Ray split on one of my Sunday sessions. So he was saying that this is going to sell right here. And I said, okay, guys, if price pushes to this daily trend line right here, do not freak out. This is another opportunity to sell. So I got in this trade right here, and then I got in this trade again right here. And look at that perfect respect of that trend line. Now, the average person, I say average person, the person who does not use trend lines would not know that that was a possibility. All they would know is that, man, I'm in drawdown right now. When there's an opportunity for you to get zero drawdown on a trade because you know there's a probability that that price can touch this trend line and then turn around. Either it's going to hit it and reject it, or it's going to hit it and try to break it. Now, either way it goes, it's going to hit it. It's going to hit it. So, I mean, when it hits it, that's your chance for a lower risk trade on the sell. So I got in that trade right there for that sell. And then let me show you how I really, really freaked this thing. On the way down, so when all this right here was happening, I want to say, this is so long ago, I'm not going to try to search for it in the chat, but when all this was happening, I was like, let me rewind this real quick. I was like, when all this was happening, price was right here. We were all finally positive. So I was in both. I was in -1, +1. I was like, okay, price was pushing down nicely. I called out to the team. There's a trend line, a daily trend line right here. There's a chance that when price hits this, price is going to reject. And lo and behold, price hit that, and it did a super huge rejection, which would have been a quick hitter for how many pips was that? I can't remember now, but a quick 20 pip hit is what that was. It hit for 22 pips, but quick 20 pip hit. I can't talk. Quick 20 pip hit. Man, that was hard to say. On the way back up. Now, knowing that, the sell is still on. I want to say this was news, and then this was news. But the whole time, said that 5 times fast. I can barely say it 1 time fast. But you see, it pushed off, it rejected this trend line. Then it broke under it. And then it tested the trend line again. So this second move was the move for everyone to freak out on, like, oh my God, I think it's gonna push back up. But no, all it was doing was testing this trend line. Price never closed above that trend line. That wick right there was just to freak people out, to make them think, oh my God, it might turn around on me. But in all actuality, it wasn't. The whole move down still happened. And then what happened to this? Price again, testing the trend line, seeing if it can finally break it and stay under it. It could not. So price is now in a range. It's just ranging back and forth, trend line to trend line, hopping trend line to trend line. That's literally all that price has been doing. Hopping trend line to trend line. So this whole time that price is stuck in this channel, if you guys even talk about the channel in the group chat, that's what it is. This channel being this whole, let's see how I can do this. I don't know how to go to 6.1. This, and then we draw one of these, and then there you go. Bam, look at that. That's almost perfect, but it's very ugly. Something like that. You guys see what I'm trying to do, man. Price is all in this channel right here. It's just ranging in this channel, back and forth, back and forth. So any pattern that you have that does not directly, at some point, does not directly correspond with this channel, is probably gonna get invalidated. Honestly, what it is. So if you're trading harmonics and you see that you have these 3 daily trend lines, and price is just riding in this channel up and down, you have a pattern that has price somehow busting out of this channel, there's a higher chance that price is going to stay in the channel than breaking out of it. Because at some point, price is going to get momentum and bust out of it, but there's a higher chance it's going to reject off of it than it's going to break out of it. Now, the reason how I know this is because things like this, you see this consolidation, price likes to gain momentum before it makes a move. And you see all down here, price was gaining momentum, moving sideways, gaining momentum, moving sideways, and it couldn't break down, so it broke up. Up here, price is gaining momentum, moving sideways, but the whole time it's moving sideways, it's slowly but surely making a higher high, higher low, because it's stair-stepping its way up. Now, if you do not know what a higher high and a higher low is, all it is, I keep saying is a lot, but all it is when you see how right here, this was your low, and then this was your high, and then this was your low, and then this, oops, I did it backwards, and then this was your high. It just kept stair-stepping its way up to being a higher low, where that's your low, and then a higher high, and then your higher low, and then your higher high, because this high was higher than this high. So like, see how price keeps on like stair-stepping its way up? So again, if you guys never heard of a higher high and a higher low, it's basically just showing you how price is kind of moving. Even when it's moving sideways, it's still stair-stepping its way up. So now at this point, I want to say someone said they had a pattern on this, which was like right here. Can't remember who said it. Oops, I did that completely wrong. I'm stupid. My bad. I'm on the wrong thing. I need to be on this. Someone had a Gartley pattern right here. Now, I told them I was not a fan of this Gartley pattern. And he asked me why. And I said, because price is ranging in a channel. And this was like last week when someone asked this. I said, because price is ranging in the channel. Again, if the move that you see does not correspond with something with this channel, with rejecting it or breaking out of it, I would not take it. Now, yes, there could possibly be a level right here. This could be a level of, let me make this on a 1 hour time frame. This could be a level of resistance right here. So I'll make this nice and let me make this custom. Now I'll put resistance. Hope I spelled that right. Don't even matter right now. You guys know what I'm talking about, so it doesn't matter if it's spelled right or not. Let me make this bold. I'll make it, I'm stupid. There you go, bam. That's too big. Bam. And put some words on here and make those pink also, and put you in the right and on the top. So that's resistance right there. I mean, that's in big, so you guys see what I'm talking about. That's resistance. So I guess he was looking at this as, he says bigger the channel is probably invalid. So if the pattern is a lot smaller or a lot bigger than the channel, it's probably invalid. Does not mean it's invalid. That means there's not a higher probability that price is going to actually like respect that and follow it. So looking at, I just drew this line right here, right? This line of resistance on this 1 hour time frame. Look at how there is a level right here. Price has been respecting this level. Tap, tap, tap. See all these taps right here on this pink line? I made it pink so it stands out. Look at all these taps on this level. But as much taps as you have on this level, look how much many more taps you have of this trend line. So even when price taps this level, it still tests the trend line. So let me change this pink. Still tests the trend line right here in respecting this level, but it still tested the trend line 2 times. Right here, this was after the pattern obviously didn't complete. It tested this level, not at all. It straight disrespected that level and went straight to the trend line. So with this, I told him that there's a chance that this wasn't going to sell right there because this daily trend line, it just kept on getting tested over and over and over. And so even though this line has been respected, more respect has been paid to this trend line. So even back here, look at this trend line right there still, and right there still, and all in the middle of here. So look at this pink line, which I just drew again. You see all this time price has been testing that. Even though it's been testing that pink line, every single chance it got, it's been testing and respecting these daily trend lines. Like every single chance it got, it's been respecting the daily trend line. Like no matter what pattern I have. For instance, I had a pattern right here. You see it? I had a Gartley pattern right here. Let me make this bold and seeable. Bam. This Gartley pattern ran hand in hand with price testing this trend line. So I knew the most I could possibly lose on this trade would be price going and testing this trend line again, and then it pushed down. You see, it's just been respecting this trend line over and over and respecting it. So when I have another pattern in here, if it doesn't roll hand in hand with like respecting this and pushing down, I'm not too eager to hop into it. So when we did get this Gartley right here, that was at the completion was at the bottom of this zone. I have a 4-hour level of support, and I have a daily trend line level right there. The most it's going to do is test it. And if it decided it wanted to break out of here, my stop loss is not too far down. I'm fine. But the most price has been doing is respecting this line, so it's a higher probability that chance. Oh, I can't talk. So many tongue twisters. There is a higher probability that price is going to test this level and then push up. That is hard to say. Probability and resistance and support and chances and lives, all that stuff is hard to say when you're trying to talk real fast. But by me knowing that, that gives me, the confidence to hop into the trade. Like, okay, I'm gonna buy right here because this level has been respected. It's been respected for a long time, and I can sell up here because this level has been respected a lot. And so when I get a pattern like this, or someone asks a question about a pattern like this, I see that price has been doing all this disrespecting of this line. Like it's been respecting a little bit, but it's really been disrespecting this line. It's like when someone gives you a backhanded compliment, Like, that's what it's been doing in this line. We're giving some backhanded compliments in this line right here. So even this level of resistance right here, price has been respecting this daily trend line more. Remember, these trend lines can be drawn on any time frame, but if you draw on a daily, if your trend line hits those points the way it's supposed to hit, when you control and copy that same trend line on any time frame, you're going to see that price has been respecting that line over and over. Because again, this little green one right here is just the same. It's the same trend line as these black ones. It's just was drawn on a 1 hour time frame. But look, there was all the respect on it though. That's crazy. Look at that. And look at all these. I'll make these different colors so you guys can see. So you guys can really see what I'm talking about. I'll make this one blue. Look at that. This is the same trend line. Just copied over for a smaller time frame. Because in a smaller time frame, you see more action in the middle. And there's so much respect of this same trend line that essentially is just a subsidiary of the black trend lines. All the same thing and just as much respect on it. So like, that gives me a chance to put my TPs on it in case price decides it wants to respect you and turn around. But look at all that respect on those trend lines. And even when it finally broke it for this pattern right here that was just drawn, let me ghost this joint out real quick. Even when it finally broke it, let me take my mouse. When price finally broke this trend line, it respected the daily one, came back down to it, and went right back up. Disrespected this pattern and went right back to the daily level. So with this, at the bottom of this channel is a good time to buy. At the top is a good time to sell. Now I want to say on the USD CHF, either price is right back in this channel right now or it's right above it. Let's see. Price is right above it. So this might be the breakout that we needed on this for it finally to be able, to break and retest and get out of this channel, because it's been this channel for a while. It's been this channel for about 3 months, almost 4 months. So it needed to get out of the channel anyway. But this might be the breakout we needed, or this might be the fake out. So right now, if I see this, I'm not like, gung-ho to hop into a trade on this if I see something, because this could be a pattern forming up. It could not be. But what I do know is that what I do see is a price break and retest the trend line. What usually happens after that is a break and a rejection. That's what usually happens. Now, I'm not guaranteed it's going to happen, because if life was that easy, we would all be $1 million traders every single day and everybody be right all the time. But we all know that ain't so. But with that being said, like, that's what usually happens after that. This might be the breakout of this channel. Price, as much as price stays into a channel, price doesn't like to be stuck in the channel like that. It's going to find a breakout at some point. It might not break out when you want it to, but it's going to break out that channel. It can't just stay in the same channel forever. But in all those channel moves, that is the perfect time for you to hop into trades or to hop into buys and sells. And another perfect example of that is if I go to Bitcoin, my old Bitcoin markup. I always show this all the time. My old Bitcoin markup, right? So way back when, the summer of 2018, I drew this up. Now, if I was trading crypto, I don't trade crypto now. If I was trading crypto back then, I could have made, I'm going to say $1 million. I could have made a lot of money trading Bitcoin back then. So this was the peak of Bitcoin back in 2017 when it hit 19, almost $20,000. Look at this trend line right here. Look at this trend line. Bam. This is only one trend line and a lot of levels of support and resistance. So that's one trend line. This is a support resistance level. This is a support resistance level. And this is a major support and resistance level. Those lines are the only lines I would have needed to make major money off of this. Now, if you're wondering where this markup came from, I had a friend who was trading Bitcoin on Coinbase back in 2018. It's like, man, I see you go with the charts. What do you see on Bitcoin? So I actually went and looked at it and I said, man, Bitcoin is doing the same move. It has been doing the same dance over and over. Look at this, trend line rejection. And it broke it, retested it, and now it's playing the bottom side. So all this was price stuck into a channel. Look at that. Price just stuck in the channel, up and down, up and down. Every time it touches that black line, sell it. Every time it touches the black line at the bottom, you're buying it. That's all Bitcoin did for years. Like, the same move, and just kept getting squeezed and squeezed and squeezed until it finally had to break out of the channel. When it broke out, it broke to the downside. And guess what it did? Let me scroll over here a little bit. It stayed under it. And when it finally broke to the top side, it kept on going. Like, this is that new resurgence of Bitcoin right here. And it looks like it's making the same move again, doesn't it? So look at this. If I make this nice and bold, what is it doing? Stuck in the channel again. Price was stuck in a channel again. And I think it's called a flag, one of those patterns. One of those patterns I don't actually use, but that's what it's called. I think it might be the flag pattern. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter at all. But you see, price was doing the same thing. Went to a level, rejected. Went to that level again, rejected. Went to that level again, rejected. And this is all just showing that price was in a downward trend. So anyone wondering what the heck is Bitcoin doing? Moving in a downward trend. So anyone who uses trend lines could have easily seen that price is just moving in a downward trend. But again, I do not trade crypto, but I just realized that it's making the same move that every other currency you can trade does. It's moving down a downward trend. So even when so I had this big harmonic on here. I want to say I dropped this in the group chat also. It played out perfectly. It was delayed, but it played out perfectly. But on the flip side of this harmonic, look exactly what happened again. Look where price is at. It's back under this same line. That same black line just drew. So again, it's doing the same thing. So for all I know, crypto could just be ranging again, back down, hit a level, go back up to that, hit a level until it's squeezed to a point where it has to make a decision. I'm not saying that it's going to break up or it's going to break down. I don't know. But what I do know is that it's making the move it's been making over and over again. So it's a chance for people to get in on this and make some money off of it. But again, I don't trade crypto. I'm not Crypto Picasso. That man is some kind of machine. I am some kind of gold / forex machine. I don't know what he's doing on crypto. I don't know how he does it, but he's doing it. But like I was saying, that's how it works, making life real easy for y'all. Now, I've been talking a whole lot for this past hour. Do any of you guys have any questions? I hope y'all learned something tonight, or at least saw something different. Do you guys have any questions? Now, if you have a question, you can unmute yourself, or you can just type it in the chat. Bianca says, that was great. Thank you. So, Bianca, is this your first class with me? If so, if you have any questions, just drop them in the chat. And before I get off here, let me actually find this free in chat, my chat link. Hold on real quick. It's the second class with me. Okay, even better. So you guys see that my teaching style, I'm going to say it's different. I do talk a lot, but to teach, you got to talk a lot. I don't know how you would not talk a lot. Let me see. How do I... Oh, I'm stupid, y'all. I don't know if y'all know that or not, but I'm stupid. Here is the link to my main chat. Now, again, this is my team chat. So yes, I do drop a lot of harmonics inside there. If you have a harmonic question, let me know. Some of my team is inside the PYP group. So I guess some of you guys can come inside my group too. Can we join the 5-figure challenge? Yes, you can. That's not a problem. Oops, did I just post this the right way? Yeah, I posted that wrong just now. Hold on real quick. I just doubled up. Can we still join the 5-figure challenge? Yes, you can. Because, so this is the thing with the 5-figure challenge, right? Some people, this is a great call. I use trends a lot in the similar ways you do. I'm just now starting to learn harmonics. LOL. A lot of people in my chat trade them and I want to hop on. That's not a problem at all. It's not a problem at all because, I love trading harmonics. And the reason I use it because I'm going to say they're safe, but they have a set of rules. If they don't follow your rules, don't get into it. It's just that simple. Now, that first link I just dropped in the chat just now, that's for my money team group. That's my main chat. That's my chat where you probably see most of my conversation and see me drop the most charts. I do drop a chart every now and then in the PYP group, but for the most part, they're going to be inside that group right there. Now, for the 5-figure challenge, it's not too late. And the reason why I say that is because some people have been doing their own thing and blowing their accounts, or doing their own thing and then be like, oh my God, what the hell is going on with my account? It's because they're doing their own thing and taking L's. I think I've only sent out like 3 losing trades the whole time. You should not be crazy negative on anything that I send out. I know one was a big L, but we should have been up on a big win on that. So one loss should not determine if your account is being blown or not. If so, it means you're way over leveraging. Hold on real quick. For the PY, for the hold on, where's that? Can you check out CJ before you hop off? Hold on real quick. My notes feel stuffy. Copy this. So this is for the 5-figure challenge. I send signals out in there, but I actually send out more trades in my regular group than I do in this channel at all. And check out CJ. What was on CJ? CJ is CAD JPY, right? Not Chef JPY, right? So CJ, let me see what Ray had on here real quick. Hold up for like 2 seconds. Wait, another little trick, you guys. I don't know if you guys noticed or not. Before I check this CAD thing, do you guys know you can? I know some people know this, some people don't, but you can compare charts on here. I don't know if you guys noticed or not, or even how to do this. But if you want to compare, let's say this is JXY, which is essentially like the DXY, except just for the yen. See, I have this perfect cipher pattern over here. I still see price pushing all the way down here on the JPY. So we're gonna see what happens with that. But did you guys know you can compare these? I'm gonna go to a cleaner one. You guys can compare patterns on here, like compare charts on here, which actually helps a lot if you want to see what's going on. So for instance, this is USD JPY. If I go to the, let's say JXY, I can compare what the JXY has been doing in comparison to the USD JPY. And you see that the JXY and the USD JPY are moving almost exactly opposite. So what this tells you is, not what this tells you, what this tells you is that if you look at the JXY and see that price is like see how price is moving on here? See how price is moving, it's following JXY perfectly. Now if I go to USD JPY, the cleaner one, you see that these things are exact opposite. They are mirror images of each other. So what that shows you that when the JXY goes down, USD JPY is going to go up, and vice versa. So that's the reason why I have this big cipher pattern drawn on here for it. I know that when this thing is down here in this general area, when this whole fall is done, I can expect the USD JPY and all of these JPY pairs, they're all moving almost exactly the same. They're all moving opposite of the JXY. When that happens, I see price making a big old move in the opposite direction. So whenever this right here finishes on the JXY, because again, you see these are opposite. The higher time frame I go, the more opposite they are. You see that? All this orange line is the JXY. All these candles are my pair here, obviously. So CAD JPY, what did Ray send? He sent a sell on CAD JPY, which was, the entry was 82.16. 82.16. His stop was 82.580. Now 82.580 is 82.580. What am I doing this for? I'm stupid. Hold up real quick. Let me just do this. 82.580. Look how easy that was. Instead of trying to do this by hand. I'm dumb. So that is your stop loss right here. And price hit it. So if you're in this trade, you got stopped out. That's what happened. That's what happened on CAD JPY. What happened was you got stopped out. Bam, that happened. The entry was 82.1, whatever it was, way down here. Yeah, I'm guessing Ray was expecting price to turn around in this general area, and I could see it. But again, it did not happen. And every trade won't win, no matter how good you are, how much knowledge you have. Remember something I said, if you're a basketball player, no matter how many free throws you shoot, no matter how many layups you do every day, no matter how many dunks you do, you're gonna miss something. And that happens. You could be LeBron James, you can be Michael Jordan. No one is 100% on shooting anything. And that's just life. The best quarterbacks in the world miss passes. They miss wide open wide receivers. It happens. So don't look at trading as I gotta be perfect, because you ain't gonna be perfect. But we all know when a quarterback's in an MVP race is because they're doing really good. So when you're doing really good, that's what matters. Don't look at this as having to be perfect, because that ain't life. With that being said, do you guys have any more questions before I hop off of here? And let me go back to what gold doing. Exactly what it's supposed to be doing, I guess. Let me get this JXY off here. Now, oh yeah, speaking of that, so the JXY, right? Well, not JXY, with the compare tool, which is the plus up here, you can compare anything. I can compare the DXY to gold, which is the US dollar index. So you guys can see how opposite they move. Like, or how same they move, but these are mirror images. So you know that when gold goes down, the US dollar goes up and vice versa. So right now, look at this impulse move. This is the DXY and this is gold. Look at that mirror image impulse right there. So by knowing that, it's just giving you information that when you have inverse pairs and stuff like that, you can look and see that, okay, if this pair is going up, what is this pair doing? Or if this pair moves this way, what is this pair going to do? Because all these JPY pairs move almost the same, but not exactly. But it just gives you a heads up that, okay, if this is doing this, you know what might be doing something else. This is just another heads up thing. If you're going to take your trading seriously, I can bet you're going to use that compare tool at some point. Even just to have fun with it. You're going to use it at some point for something. But again, with that being said, this is going to be uploaded to my YouTube channel as I upload most of my videos. My YouTube is at Modern Trades. That's also my Instagram. That's also, if you go on Facebook and go to facebook.com// whatever it is, Modern Trades, it's going to take you to my page. I mean, it's the same thing. And that's not an indicator. What it is, you see this plus tool up here? Look at my thing. It says compare or add symbol. Press plus and go to compare. You can go to compare or you can go to add symbol. If you add symbol, you can add USD, JPY on my own. I'm on GPNs. It doesn't matter. USD, JPY. Now these patterns have nothing to do with each other, but I just type it in just to show that it looks super crazy. But just to show that it just shows how they move in comparison to each other. But yeah, with that, you guys be easy. This is my information on everything: Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Follow me. I'll have this video uploaded too. If you have any questions, to review that or hit me up in the chat. I sent you guys links to both of the chats, so I will holler at y'all on the next one.